All right, so the last piece I'd like to talk about is the Angular support for what are called directives. Right, we've been using directives for for the last couple of weeks. Right, all those ng dash app ng dash whatever. Right, all those are directives. Right, and it's a way for Angular to extend the HTML language. Right, so that if you need a new tag or a new attribute, you can just create it. Right? You can and then that new tag or that new attribute or new class, right? You can then associate it to some logic that will manipulate the original DOM. Okay, so let's do some experiments here under undergrad, and let's create here a directory where we can play around with directives. Directives. Okay, so let's create here a little HTML file where we're gonna host a simple Angular application, so we can just start talking about a directive. So let's see, let's have index.html. We'll need the usual things, right? Right. So let's load the library for Angular. So that's going to be the script tag and source. I'm going to go up one. Up one, up again, oops. I think I went way too far. Do we have vendors here? Yeah, we have vendors. What else we have in here? We got Angular, very good. What else we got here? Angular min, excellent. We have Angular min. I'm not going to do routing, right? We're just going to play around with some directives. All right, let's keep going. Let's declare here an application, and we'll call it directive lecture. Okay, and if I navigate there, let's see, and I go down to lectures, and I go undergrad. Directives, and I click on index, it complains saying that there is no directive lecture application. So let's create one. Right, so let's create here script, source, and we'll create it in our app.js. We'll create here an app.js JavaScript right here. So app.js, and let's create an IFI. Remember, IFIs are only for the client side, right? We don't do those on the server side. So we have Angular, no, Angulage, no, Angular, so module, and the module that we're implementing is called directive, what was it? Lecture, thank you, right? And so if we refresh, it still complains. What? Oh, comma, right? I think so. There we go. All right, so it created that element. And so here, we can certainly put our own elements, obviously, right? We can say h1 hello, right? Obviously, right? But we can also create our own brand new tags, okay? And if you don't like the way HTML works, you can redefine how h1 works. You can redefine any of these tags. And what Angular will do is that it will see if there is a binding between any of these tags and any code that it has declared. Okay? So for instance, we could tell Angular to declare a new directive. Okay? And this directive, you can name it. This name is going to match our element right here. Okay, and then you can associate code. You can say hello tag, right, in a function that you implement. Hello tag. Right. So now what's going to happen is that when Angular sees this tag, well, when it sees the declaration of directive, right, it's going to look for all the tags are the hello tags. And says, when I see that tag, I'm going to parse the entire DOM. If I see the hello element, I'm going to execute this function. Right? So here we can say, you can say alert hello tag. There it is, hello tag. It found that hello tag and then executed that function. Everybody okay? All right. So one of the things you could do, well, that's not alert. One of the things you can do is all the tags need to evaluate to an object, a configuration object, right? So all the tags need to return an object that tells Angular what to do with your tag, right? What do you want to do with it, right? What is the code that you want to execute, right? One of the things that you can do is say that I want to render the following content, right? I can say hello world. Okay, I want to render in that tag the following text, right? So there it is. So it's hello world, right? So that's text that was not there originally. Right? Notice that we have the hello tag, right? And whatever I put in my template is being rendered in there. Okay? And yes.
So I assume you do like pass arguments and like stuff like that.
Yes.
So this is what we use for like when we put footer at times.
Exactly. And what this allows you to do is what are called to implement what are called components, right? This is where Angular 2 and Angular, the newer versions of Angular, it's all components, right? And so they use similar ideas, right, of directives, and they have their own templates, right? And the controller and the template are become one, right? As opposed to separating them the way we have it now, it all becomes one single thing, right? And we'll show you how to do that here as well. Okay. Yes.
Like, is there a way to, well, like first, like, what happens if you, like, in the index, you put any sort of text inside, will the template like override?
We'll replace it. Yeah.
Okay. And is there any way to get that text to like?
Yes, you can read the content. Yep. Before it replaces it.
But like, for example, you put like HTML. Is there like an easy, just Angular requires an easy way to kind of parse that HTML into something that you kind of understand?
Well, you get the DOM, the actual DOM in there, right? And then you can use jQuery to parse it any way you want. Yep. Yeah, you can nest these things, right? You can instead of hello, you can put other things, right? In here, goodbye. Right, and you get the entire DOM, right, passed to you, and then you can then manipulate it, add things, remove things, move things around. Okay, whatever's in there, it gets passed to you. All right, So let's continue. Now you can also provide here some styling, right? So actual HTML, right? So it gets rendered as actual HTML in there. But obviously, you're not going to do a fair amount of HTML in here. Instead, you want to make sure that what you can do instead is provide a URL, right? And then provide the location of some HTML document. Right? So for instance, you might say hello.html. Right? And then in another document, in the hello.html, hello.html. So this is h1. This is the hello world template URL. So it loads that template into there. Yes. Right. Exactly. Yeah. So exactly, you can grab this and paste it anywhere you want, right? And it'll find it from here. Well, ng-include is only a template, right? So you don't have any behaviors associated with it. This allows you to marry together behavior and view all together in a single component, right? In the other one, you depend on a controller that is outside, right? Assuming that the template has a particular model, a particular binding, right? That is controlled by a controller outside, right? Here. you can control parameters. You can parameterize any parameters that somebody might pass you, right? And you have your own local variables, your own local functions, your own local private things, right? That are not exposed to the outside world. Right? It becomes a reusable component. Yes.
So like, let's say I made a tag that's like some special like class, and or like a special div, and I want to like pass whatever it I put inside that below.
Yeah.
To that template that I made. So how it,
Yeah, you can put your own parameters, right? And these parameter names are available, are going to be available inside of the directive.
But how do I pass it to like the template to the URL to in the JavaScript?
Yeah, so right here, this right here will be available in this JavaScript. We'll see that in a minute. Right? You do it from using what's called a link. The link function is a function that you get past the outside scope. So any variables that are declared, any controllers that are out there and have their own arrays and whatever, right? Any functions that are declared out there, this is the equivalent of $scope, right? Is being passed to you. What's the outside world, right? What is your context? The other thing that gets passed to you is the actual DOM, right? That is represented by that one tag, including anything that is inside currently, right? And you can use these elements. You can use jQuery functions to append, remove, sort. Right? You can apply any jQuery manipulation to this. Right? Plus, you had the attributes. These are the attributes that are being passed to you, are being parsed and passed to you. Okay. Today we're just going to focus on just the elements. All right. We'll talk about this a little further, a little later. Okay. Everybody still with me? Okay. All right. So here we can look at the elements. We can do a console log element. Okay. Notice that it comes back as that is the hello element. It is a jQuery element. Okay. I know we played only a little bit with jQuery a couple of weeks ago, but this is a jQuery object that you can manipulate it, right? You can add things to it. You can change the content, set the HTML content, right? Programmatically goodbye. Notice that it's goodbye, right? So you can append to it. You can append a UL and start iterating and create an HTML table with content that you retrieve from some database using some service, right? All embedded in here. I just want to be able to show you how you can use it, right? How you can use it to apply some jQuery manipulations that are for this assignment, right? Everybody okay? Right. Right. So let's create another directive. Let's create another directive here. Now, the directive can be used either, by default, it can either be used as a tag element, just like this. It could be used as an attribute, okay, or it can be used as a class. So by default, right, Angular treats allows you to bind code and apply it either by as an element, right, an attribute or a class, right? Whatever is more convenient to your particular case, right, or whatever makes more sense to you, because it might be a behavior. There could be a behavior, for instance, that you want to apply not only to just this tag, but you want to apply to any number of tags. ULs, tables, H1s, paragraph. You want to apply the same behavior to all of them. Maybe you want to make them all draggable. Okay? And you want to apply that behavior to everybody. Okay? Let's do that. Let's play around with that. Actually, I don't have enough time. All right, so what I do want to be able to do here is I want to make this draggable. Right? So I like to be able to say that this, not draggable, sortable. Right? So webdev, and I want to make this webdev draggable. Okay, so I am applying an attribute that doesn't exist. Right? So I'm going to declare this as a Angular directive. An Angular directive. I'm going to create a brand new directive. Directive. Right, and here is my directive. Yes. Okay. One thing about naming conventions in HTML, cases don't matter. Right? Casing doesn't matter. If I do or make this capital or this or lowercase or whatever, right? It doesn't really matter, right? HTML doesn't care. JavaScript does care about casing, right? It is case sensitive, right? And also, the naming conventions that we follow in JavaScript are different than the naming conventions we follow in HTML. Okay. Typically over here, we use the dashes, right, to distinguish between words. Whereas usually in JavaScript we will use camel casing, right? So to be able to bridge these two naming conventions in these two different worlds, okay, Angular provides a standard, right, or a convention that the dashes are removed, right, and the first word of each word is the first letter in each word is capitalized. So this WD dash draggable actually matches to WD capital D draggable. Right, can it be more confusing? I find that confusing.
Is that required?
No, it replaces everything and it renames it to this. Yeah, and they explain in their documentation what their algorithm is to rename things and make sense, because this indeed is the naming convention that you would use in JavaScript, right? Anyway, so here we have we're going to return. We don't want to return any template. We're not adding any content. We're only adding behavior. Okay, we're only adding behavior. So to be able to grab the behavior is we're going to use the link function. And implement it over here. And we don't really care about the scope. We only really care about the elements. So I'm going to ignore the scope for now. I only want the elements. All right. So I have this element. And I have here several draggable elements. So you have here maybe 1, 2, 3. Let's copy just a couple of these. 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And as I said earlier, this is a jQuery element. Yes. I don't need them. Yeah. In JavaScript, if you don't have the argument, they just are ignored. Yep. I do need the scope, right? But this is not injected. Right? This is being invoked in that order. Right? So this is not. It's not using an injection here. So even though I'm not using scope, I need to have it there. Right? And it doesn't have to be called scope. Right? It's a very common name though. Now, if we had jQuery, we would just have to do what? Grab the element and just say sortable. And that would be it. Right? The thing is that we don't have jQuery installed. We only have Angular installed, right? But Angular has its own little version of jQuery, right? It's a minimal version of jQuery which does not include draggable, droppable, any of those, sortable. None of those behaviors are included. So we need to include those. So let's include jQuery. And we have jQuery, there it is. And what do we have here? jQuery min, there we go, okay. And jQuery doesn't include the draggable and sortable behaviors. Those are actually in where? In vendor. No, it's not there. What do we have here? Oh no, we don't have jQuery UI. Ah! Really? I thought we downloaded it. jQuery. Hello. What's this doing? jQuery min. Oh no, I don't have. Assignment. Do I actually need to go fetch it? I must have downloaded somewhere. Let's see. Download it. New. Download jQuery. jQuery. I didn't download it. Okay, let me download it quickly. jQuery UI. Download. Custom download. Stable. That sounds promising. Oh, thank you. Yes. Oh, yes, I thought I did that. jQuery UI. Yes, jQuery. Where are you? Where? There we go. Thank you. You saved me. jQuery UI. Where are you? Demos. Build. Demos. External. T. UI. jQuery. Is there no distribution? Themes, test, external, globalize. Are you serious? jQuery. jQuery UI, effects, core jQuery 7. Themes, visual, images, require.js. Release, task, build. I have to build this? External. I thought I did this. jQuery UI, jQuery unit, test, lib. No. UI, effects, widgets. Where? Well, that's jQuery. That's not jQuery UI, though. Oh, this downloaded already. Okay, there we go. Oh, see, I did download it. jQuery UI, there it is. And what I just need is this one right here, jQuery UI, this one, copy. And I'll paste it in here, in vendors. Where's jQuery vendors? Vendors, JavaScript, jQuery, and I'll just put it in there. Okay. All right. Let's go back. Now let's load that jQuery, and I'm almost to my time. src. If you need to go, feel free to go. Vendor. So we have jQuery and jQuery UI. There we go. All right, and this needs to be loaded after jQuery. And where did Angular go?
If you go to directives /hello,
Oh, there we go. Here. Not there. It's this index here. I'm sorry. This is jQuery UI. There we go. And let's see. Did that work? Thank you. There we go. See that? It's sortable. Yay! It worked. Okay. So you can use that same directive, right, and just apply it to anything that you want sortable. It would work on tables. It would work anything that has parents and then children, and then all the children now would be sortable. Right? That's the intent of now being able to use it as an attribute as opposed to as an element. Thank you very much.